In our last video, we talked a little bit about discovery and how are some of the ways to find startups. In this section, we're going to talk about curation. So let's load the platform here. We're going back to the home page. So now we are in the main home page, and then let's go to this section called collections. So collections are basically a form of curating startups. Basically, they are a list of startups, and you can grade them and evaluate them. This is great if you are looking at an RFP for selecting a few companies, or it's great if you are looking at a couple of startups that you want to start testing. And all the collections that you have created or collections that are um, curated for you will appear on your homepage right here as a collection for you under your name. So now I'm going to go here and look at a collection that I've created. A collection is nothing else but a simple listing of startups. So let's look at one of the collections here. Iterate new business models. So this was a work that we did for one of our customers, looking at new business models, new startup business models, and how large enterprises can learn from the startups and take advantage of the various models. So we analyzed 116 companies here, and you can see it here. So all the names of the companies, what business models do they serve. You can create as many categories as you want. And when you go in the very first time and create a collection, let's edit this here. As you go in and create a brand new collection, the edit box would pop up, and you will have the ability to modify or edit or curate new collections. And every collection can be shared with different members in the team. So as you go down here, you will see the attributes. If you want to add a new attribute, you can just type the name of the attribute and then press on plus, and it'll automatically add the attribute, and all you do is save, and that'll show up in the collection. Since we are not going to save now, I'm just going to cancel that. And I'm going to go back to the collection, the business model collection here. So the purpose of the collection is to create a list of the startups, to add attributes that somewhat become the grading attributes. So the attributes will help you evaluate the startup, and you can share the evaluation with your colleagues, and uh, you can finally select the startups that you are interested in through a proper online evaluation process. It's very easy, also easy to add a startup as well. If you click on the add here, you can, with few clicks, you can just add the startup. So you don't need to, unlike an Excel sheet, you don't need to fill all the attributes in. You just click on the startup that you are interested in. Let me say in this case, I'm going to look at Yota, and automatically the system would go find where Yota is, and it will show it here, and I can just select Yota. And I can select the company here, and it gets added. Now the next thing that's interesting that I want to show you here, in some collections they are far more complicated, because sometimes you go through multiple levels or rounds of evaluating these companies. Say you're running your own incubator, or you're running your own venture fund. You would go through multiple rounds of evaluating these companies. So one way to do that here is, let me show you some examples of how we have done that. Let me look at Coin. This is one of the evaluations that we went through. We selected a series of startups for in this case, and then we ended up going through a second round of evaluation where we graded the startups in the first round, and the finalists were promoted to the next round. And then here it'll tell you, like, on the first round you have 32 companies, and the second round you have 11 companies. So you could go on a cyclic manner like that on a continued basis and find out the final two or three startups that you're really interested in working through. But all the information that you went through that discovery process and that curation process is all fully documented, and you do have that information here online. You could also download that and share it, or you could share it online with your colleagues. So that's a quick introduction to the curation process. In our next video, we'll focus a little bit more on landscapes.